Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Jacob. In this video, we are going to talk about why only focusing on the long term in your online business is putting it at serious risk. Okay, I'm gonna roll the intro, we'll get into it. Before we jump into this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop a new video about how to build a highly profitable online information business, right? If you're into affiliate marketing, selling other people's products, if you're into creating courses and information products, if you're into coaching and consulting, we are going to cover the business and the marketing strategies that you need in order to grow a profitable business. Okay, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave any questions or comments that you've got below. I do my best to get back to them, or my assistant will get back to you throughout the week. And let's dive into this one. Okay, so we are talking about why a dedicated long-term focus in your business is pretty stupid. Okay, it's putting it at serious risk. If all you think about is the long term, there's some massive dangers with that approach. Okay, you've probably received the advice before, something to the effect of just focus on the long term and it will be fine. Okay, and unfortunately I have to be the one that breaks the bad news and tell you that that's just not the case. Okay, if you don't have today sorted out, if you don't have short-term strategies in your arsenal, if you don't have the ability to generate cash like that in your business, right? If you don't have the foundation set up now, right? Like today, this week, this month, the short term, not 6 months, 12 months, 5 years down the track. If you don't have the right stuff in place now and the right strategies, the right offers, the right sales processes, you aren't building on the right platforms. If you're not doing the right things today, tomorrow, that long term is going to be very bleak. Okay, so it's a good throwaway line. It's a good, focus on the long term and it'll be fine. And look, I've been guilty of saying it myself too. Because there is a place for it, but absent having the short-term strategies in place that you need in your business, and we're going to talk about those in this video, you're putting yourself at serious risk of either going out of business or building something that's just not particularly strong, or building something that you don't like at all. Okay, it's just as important to look at today as it is to look at 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the track. A blind ignorance to what is happening right now and only focusing on the long term is insane. Okay, so the reason this video is kind of front of mind for me right now is I just rolled out a product called the Fast Cash Rolodex, right? And I've dealt with a lot of different online business owners, and I think there is a serious imbalance in terms of people's perspective. There's a lot of people who are only thinking long term and they're not arming themselves with the right strategies that they need now. That's why I put that program together, and there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. It was a project that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and the inspiration for it comes in two layers. One, I used to work in the financial consulting field, and we were heavily involved in running businesses' cash flow. And so from day one, the day I left university and got into that world, the importance of cash flow has been, shoved down my throat effectively by people that I've worked with. And then when I got into the online space, because of that mentality, I've always just been on the hunt for what are methods that I can integrate into my, arsenal, right? What stuff that I can put in these folders so that I've got a strategy book, so that I've got a playbook or a Rolodex, as I call it, of things that I can lean on, right? I'm literally sitting here mapping one out that I'm going to roll out next week. Okay, it's a proven method that I know I will roll out over a week and it will generate cash. And the significant majority of people don't have strategies like that in their business. Okay, and so if you're in this boat, what you need to be thinking about is, how can I arm myself with strategies that do a couple of things? Okay, you want strategies that allow you to really leverage people's psychological buying triggers, is what I call it. And in the program that I mentioned before, we dive deep into that on each of the different strategies. There's things that make people go, maybe later. And there's things that make people go, grab their wallet, pull their credit card out and say, I have to buy this fucking thing right now. That's the buying triggers. And in order to have really, really effective short-term strategies like we're talking about here, they have to be, they have to be layered with multiple buying triggers. Okay, it's not just one, there's like multiple. And that's what makes people go, yeah, I'm going to get into this now, and not go, all right, I'm going to wait for, 6 months time, right? It brings both of you, the strategy brings you into the today where you need the cash, and it brings the customer into a place where they're like, yeah, okay, I've got to buy this thing now. So that's really, really critical. Okay, beyond the psychology of it all, you want these types of strategies to be flexible enough to allow you to do a couple of things. Okay, now if you followed me for any length of time, or you're in my Facebook group or email list or bought any of my programs, you know I consistently preach having high ticket products in your arsenal. Okay, it's all right to have some low ticket stuff, but you can't depend on them. An information business is a margin business. You don't want to be in the volume game in this space. You're going to be surrounded by people who are price shoppers, refunders, complainers. They're going to destroy your life on support or your team's life on support. You want to be focusing the significant chunk of your effort onto high ticket products, because the people that you get to work with are going to be better suited to your business. It's as simple as that, okay? So you want these strategies to be able to do a couple of things. You want some strategies that allow you to straight up sell your high ticket products. So extract leads who may be a good fit for it, put them through a vetting process where you can see, are they actually a good fit for it, and then make them your high ticket offer. Or alternatively, you want strategies that allow you to generate cash on your lower ticket offers, but built into that system or built into the low ticket offer, you want a vehicle to seamlessly ascend people. Okay, so for example, we have a lower ticket offer in the affiliate marketing space that's called the Super Affiliate Intensive, and it's $100, but included in that is a strategy call with each person who purchases. Now, independent of if they elect to upgrade to our higher ticket programs, which go up to $4,500 at the time of filming this, that call is valuable in itself. So it does two things. One, it amplifies the value of the front end offer. Well, it does really three things. It amplifies the value of the front end offer. It bridges the two programs, and it gives us an opportunity to see, are they a good fit seamlessly without selling them something and then having to try and chase and follow up. It's baked into the offer. It's part of the offer. Okay, so if you're going to be doing lower ticket stuff, you want some pathway built into the system where that lower ticket offer gets delivered to ascend people to your higher ticket stuff. And so if you're using short-term cash generating strategies like we teach in the Rolodex, you want to integrate some pathway for the people that buy your lower ticket stuff up to your higher ticket stuff. Because if you're chasing fast cash in your business, you're not going to get there selling $100 things. You're not going to get there selling $200 things. You need to be selling things for $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 if you want to generate, serious cash. And so ideally, you've got strategies that do both of those things. But at the core, you want them absolutely layered in buying triggers, and you want them to have the capacity to be implemented very, 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 very quickly, right? Like, I mean, you could hit pause on this video and you could go send out an email and it's done, right? And you need the copy frameworks and stuff in order to be able to do that, which we cover in our program. But regardless of that, when I say quick, I mean like seriously fast. Like, you don't want to be waiting for 3 weeks to build something and do all the prep and this big hoo-ha about it all. You need to be able to go, here's my strategy, this is why it works, here's the copy, plug the elements into it and send it out, right? You need to be armed with stuff that allows you to do that. Okay, now I've done a separate video on this, but it warrants repeating at this point. The benefits of a balanced focus between short-term and long-term, particularly when it comes to cash, is going to put you back in control in your business, okay? And that has 3 layers to it. That lets you pay for stuff that you need to pay for, okay? Bills, whatever else that pops up that you might need to fund, right? To stuff that you want to pay for. That could be either in your business, an investment in a coach or a mentor or a program or whatever, or it could be in your personal life. It could be a car, a holiday, an apartment, whatever it is that you want to buy. So you've got the need stuff that it can pay for, you've got the want stuff that it can pay for, and those are great. But the third one for me is the most powerful one, and it's the favorite, right? What it does is, by being in control of your business, of your cash flow, it puts you back in control of your business. All right, and the flow-on effects of that as you grow are incredibly powerful. For the people watching this that are really early on in their business, this may not seem important, but I'm telling you, if you've got designs on a 7-figure business, this stuff becomes really, really critical. As you take on more customers, as you work with more people, if you don't have things structured in the right way where you're in control and your client base isn't in control, it turns into a giant game of babysitting. You will have people absolutely hounding you because you haven't put rules in place to separate yourself and say, no, this is how this works. You follow this path, otherwise you don't get a response. And that may sound harsh, but it has to be that way, right? It might work when you've got 10 customers, but when you've got hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of customers, you have to have rules in place about who you work with, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, and the process of either getting access to you or getting access to your team and getting support, okay? And then on top of that, being able to charge the prices that you want to charge. And without being in control of your cash flow, you cannot do that because you need people. And you don't want to be needing any one customer, any one project, any one product or offer. You want to be able to evolve beyond that where they need you, right? And get your business to the point where you're armed with the strategies that you can move quickly, generate cash so that you don't, you can hang up the phone on someone that you don't want to work with. Right? You can say, no thanks, I don't think we're the right fit, and move on without needing to, twist their arm for hours on the phone and then work with someone who you hate and work on something that you don't want to work on, and inevitably that person's going to be a pain in the ass. They're going to be the one calling you at stupid o'clock in the morning. They're going to be the one that moans and wants discounts and refunds. The flow-on effect of having these short-term strategies is insane. Okay? So if you've only focused on the long term in your business, and you're just putting off really thinking about monetization now, I would encourage you to check out the Rolodex. But even if you don't, and even if you don't jump into that program, think about what's in your arsenal of tools that lets you convert audience or engagement or whatever it may be into cash. And if you don't have those strategies, you need to go and get them. Be them from me or from somebody else, or you need to go and figure them out for yourself. But you need them in your business. You need them to sort out today, but you need them to protect where you're heading as well. Okay? So keep that balance, right? Keep that balance. It's similar to a concept that I talk about in one of my programs called Opportunity Vision. And it's about having a balance on where you're putting your attention. So with people that I'm working with in the affiliate marketing space, there's a lot of beginners. They can get really sucked into this shiny object syndrome concept, and there's either two ways you can tackle that. You either let it take you over and you're going to go down a really, really painful and expensive rabbit hole, or you block out everything else aside from what you're doing, and that has benefits of being hyper focused, but you're missing opportunities. So there's this almost 80-20 of how much attention you pay to what you're working on right now, but having the capacity to kind of look up from time to time, look at the things that are going on around you, and say, is there anything worth looking at here that's it's worth giving it my attention, or should I just put my head back down and get to work? Right? It's the same type of balance that you're juggling here. You need, although I think it's bigger than an 80-20, it's you need to be putting more and more time into today if you haven't got anything in place in folders on your desk with strategy and things that you can quickly lean on, that draw on powerful buying triggers to generate cash. Okay, so that's all I got for you in this one. Make sure that you're focusing on both the short term and the long term, because they're just as important as each other. Check out the Rolodex if you want to get info on all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.